Sometimes love makes us choose.
Hi.
A young mom prefers her vices to her boyfriend.
What are you gonna do? Call the cops?
She had no boundaries.
A gold digger doesn't just dig for gold.
She just snapped.
And in this love triangle, three's a crowd.
She found herself torn between two men.
There's no fairy tale ending for these deadly women. When love leaves town. In 1999, 18-year-old Katrina Bridges and 21-year-old Chris Ingraham are head over heels in love.
Katrina Bridges was a real cute girl.
Chris was sort of an all-American boy. He was in the Navy.
I think I know a better way to get warm.
He's that kid in the high school that the girls want to go to the prom with. He is that kid that everybody loves to be around.
It's a magical time for both of them. Until...
Are you coming back? What's wrong?
Chris and Katrina meet. 3 months later, she's pregnant.
She was young and immature. She didn't know how the world worked.
Oh, hey, it's okay. Oh, hey, it's okay. We're having a baby. Oh, my God.
When Katrina got pregnant, Chris didn't run away. He wanted to do the right thing. He stood by her. He wanted to be a dad.
Chris agrees to move to Maine, so the teenage mom is close to her family.
Hi.
Chris has got to support his family, so he gets a job at the local naval base as a clerk.
Look at that perfect little face.
It's just like his mom's.
He's doing it because he has a family, and he's a man, and he's going to take care of them.
The young couple has the support of family, including Katrina's doting grandmother.
Look what Grandma's got you.
You sure you're okay? Yeah, we're fine.
I just gotta use your bathroom.
Sure.
But there's something no one knows. Katrina has a serious problem.
Cute little Katrina, she didn't care who she took money from. If she could steal from her own grandmother, she could do anything.
Stealing is a bad habit Katrina's had for years.
She had stolen from her school. She had stolen from family members. Money seemed to be the object for her.
She not only steals from friends and family, but also the state.
Katrina received welfare benefits. She said that there was no other income coming into the family, even though Chris had a job.
Compulsive thievery can be a sign of psychopathy. She's a psychopath. Psychopaths steal because it makes them feel good. It's a thrill. They think they pulled one over on someone. The higher the risk, the more fun it is for them. And every time they get away with it, that buys them their next free ride to steal something bigger and more valuable.
Katrina, her life, everything she was all lies. It was all a fraud.
But one day, her thieving ways are discovered.
Her grandmother reported that some checks were missing and that Katrina had written checks and tried to cash them.
Chris is appalled.
What's wrong?
You stole from your grandma?
No. No, she gave me that money.
No, she didn't. You stole from her. You stole from my family. I've had enough.
Chris is at odds with himself. He doesn't know what to do. Something needs to be done. This can't go on and on and on.
It was a lot about money. It was about trust. He was nervous about her raising their son because of some of the trust issues that they had had.
What are you gonna do? Call the cops?
No, but if you don't get professional help, I'm leaving, and I'm taking it with me.
So Chris does the only thing he thinks he can do. He gives her an ultimatum.
You wouldn't.
I would, and I will.
Okay. Okay, you win. I'll get help.
And this, for Katrina,
Okay?
might end up being a breaking point.
Hello.
Who?
Hi.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
But a door-to-door saleswoman
Do you have a couple of minutes? Maybe all three of us talk about it?
Yeah, no, sorry. We've
It'll take a
actually...
few minutes.
gives Katrina another option.
When Chris got a life insurance policy for $15,000 that paid triple indemnity if he died in an accident, Katrina saw a mountain of gold.
Congratulations. Thank you.
So now, there's a lot of money at stake.
In the small town of Jonesboro, Maine, on January 2nd, 2001. Thief Katrina Bridges is staging a robbery in her own home.
She, again, was looking for money, and she took some of Chris's PlayStation games and sold them for a few dollars a piece.
Chris, we've been robbed.
She called her husband at work and said, "We have been burglarized."
They stole your shotgun and your video games. Yeah, I will. I'll call them now.
He said, "Well, call the police." But she never did.
So Chris obviously goes home, and he finds, wait a minute, the shotgun's still there. No jewelry's missing.
I thought you said it was stolen.
I thought it was.
But my PlayStation games are gone. What the hell is this woman talking about? There's been a burglary. No one's broken into our home. What she's done is taken my games and sold them.
You did this, didn't you?
No.
He says, you know what, I've had it now.
I'm done. I'm done.
I've had it with you. I've had it with this situation.
The stage is set. Now Katrina has Chris just where she wants him. defenseless and sound asleep.
There were so many times that she could have stopped. She could have put the rifle back.
Psychopaths are cool, calm, and collected when they commit the most serious of crimes. No problem. No guilt, no remorse, nerves like steel.
One shot doesn't kill Chris.
She had tried to shoot again, but the gun didn't work properly. She just left him. She walked away.
Now for the alibi.
She gets to her mother's house. Her hair's been crudely cut.
What happened? Are you okay?
I was kidnapped by Canadian drug dealers.
What?
Canadian drug dealers broke into the house, and I'm worried about what they might have done to Chris. I got out of there.
Come in.
I think the only reason for Katrina to cut her hair was to get rid of any blood smears or powder burns, powder soot that may have come from the gun when she fired it.
Some 10 hours after the shooting, Katrina finally goes to the police.
They immediately went to the house.
Sir, can you hear me?
Chris was still alive when he got to the hospital. It was about 24 hours before he died.
There was two of them. They had Canadian accents.
Katrina becomes the only witness.
So they raped Chris.
How about you tell the truth?
Once she saw her first story wasn't going to be believed, she changed paths.
He was depressed. He wanted us both to commit suicide.
Now it was suddenly a murder-suicide pact.
Who pulled the trigger?
He wanted to commit suicide, but he didn't have the guts to do it. He asked me to put the gun to his head. I thought the safety was on, but then I pulled the trigger and kaboom.
That's it. I've heard enough. Take her away.
What?
Her implausible story and a history of lies, robbery, and Chris's life insurance policy all point to her guilt. In 2003, Katrina Bridges is found guilty of murder. She's sentenced to 47 years behind bars.
Katrina Bridges was cute. She was a pretty one. But she was pretty poison.
For Katrina, it isn't just about the money. The lies and the thieving are fun.
There's no indication Katrina had a drug problem. So what was she doing with the money? She didn't need it. She did it because it was fun.
But the consequences for those around her are devastating.
This woman was calculating, was secretive, was devious. She's probably in a good spot right now.
Love can bloom in unlikely places.
He was entranced.
Just tell me the truth.
I am.
but left unattended,
She buried it deep and covered it with soil.
it tends to rot.
She panics. Big mistake.
– 2009, Diamond Bar, California. When 60-year-old Vietnam veteran Samuel Wiggins puts up an ad for a roommate.
Yes, can I help you?
Hey, I'm Carmen Montenegro. I've come about the room for rent.
Nice to meet you.
He doesn't expect it to change his life.
So he was looking for someone to rent a room in the house that he lived in.
Tell me about yourself.
50-year-old empty nester Carmen Montenegro wants a fresh start.
Well, I'm single. I've got 2 kids, but they moved out.
Free at last.
Yeah, exactly.
She was beautiful, she had long hair. He was entranced.
Drink, that should cool you down.
Oh, thank you.
No air conditioning, I'm sorry.
Oh, gee, that's a bit of a deal breaker.
She determined that there was no air conditioning, so she couldn't stay there.
I must admit I'm disappointed.
While Carmen doesn't take Samuel's room,
Maybe we can be friends.
I'd like that.
she does take something else. His heart. A confirmed bachelor, Samuel is a changed man.
Samuel made it to 60 years old without having a wife or a longtime girlfriend.
You like?
You bet.
For the first time in his life, Samuel was over the moon about a woman.
Sam.
Samuel's willing to share everything with his new love.
Hey, honey, cheer up. What can be that bad?
I don't know what to do. I can't pay this.
Including his bank account.
I can help you with this.
Really?
Yeah, really.
No, you don't have to do that.
That's okay. I didn't ask. I offered.
He paid for her daughter's college education and a car.
Thank you, Sam.
Sure.
He was very generous with Carmen and her family. He was there to sort of provide for her and her family.
At first, Samuel gives freely. But things take a turn when Carmen starts taking liberties.
Carmen was stealing from him. Little things, but important things.
Hey, honey.
She looked upon him as a source of income. Something that she could use over and over again to get what she needed.
And shopping.
Just a little treat.
With my money.
Yeah. Are you accusing me of stealing your money?
There's nothing left.
You are going to be a lonely old man.
The lovers have their first fight. But it doesn't end the affair. Samuel can't bear to kick Carmen out of his life.
I wasn't expecting this.
I wanted to say sorry. There's one more thing.
He wants to make things permanent.
Will you marry me?
Sam. Yes! Yes! Oh, yes! Oh.
They were intending to get married. He was prepping the house for her moving in.
Carmen wanted Samuel's money, not his engagement ring.
In Diamond Bar, California. After 60 years of bachelorhood,
I'd like that.
Samuel Wiggins is finally sharing his life with someone. Carmen Montenegro. Samuel soon realizes he's made a mistake.
If you think I'm a thief, why are you marrying me?
I love you.
He wanted more of a relationship.
But there are so many things missing.
She wanted his money. That wasn't going to work.
Just tell me the truth.
I am.
I don't believe you. I want out. I'm calling it quits.
Samuel was done with the relationship.
But for Carmen, that isn't an option.
She just snapped.
Carmen stabbed Samuel twice in the chest. And those wounds killed him. Then she commenced to stab him 22 times in the back. I hate you 22 times. He must have really made her angry.
After the rage, the reality. Carmen has 200 pounds of dead weight to get rid of.
So she went outside in the shed and got his chainsaw. Started the chainsaw and began to cut off his head, his arms, and his legs.
Sometimes killers dismember a body for practical reasons. And another reason is ghoulish. They do it because they like it. I think Carmen fell into that category.
Carmen hits on a novel way to dispose of Samuel's body.
She got 2 large pots, and she buried his head in one pot. She buried his arms in another.
So I think she was trying to disgrace him even in death.
But some parts don't fit in a pot.
She tells the residents there that she's doing a gardening project. She digs a bunch of holes in the backyard.
She put the torso and legs in one bag, buried it deep into the garden, and covered it with soil.
To cover her tracks further, Carmen offloads the plants as a touching gift to a cousin.
She takes them over on Mother's Day.
Carmen, what brings you here? A happy Mother's Day. For you. Oh, they're beautiful.
And in those potted plants, one plant has the head of Samuel, and the other one has both of Samuel's arms.
Come on, come on.
I've heard of killers dispersing body parts to relatives of the victim, but that's for the purpose of taunting them. What Carmen did, I think, is totally unique.
Carmen gets away with murder. Now she gets down to business.
Carmen started draining Samuel's bank accounts immediately after she killed him.
She was trying to convince people he was still alive. So she is using his credit card, she is paying his rent, she's driving his car, so that if you look, he's still alive.
But his family is concerned.
Hello? Ramon? No, he's out of town.
Everybody's starting to say, what happened to Sam? He's not been around.
Hello?
His nephew comes looking for him.
Hello?
When he found his uncle's cigarettes and lighter outside.
Uncle! Hello!
And his favorite shoes still there. Now he's on the hunt for Samuel.
Hello!
He found fine blood spray on walls and doors.
He goes straight to the police. Carmen has to think fast.
She panics and decides to move Samuel's remains. Big mistake.
Things only get worse when relatives turn up unannounced.
Carmen?
Guys, I need your help. $1,000. $1,000 each. 5,000. 5,000 each. Come on, guys, I need your help.
Carmen might have been good at killing, but she certainly wasn't good at hiding.
Where's the bin over?
When she asked him to help her lift a garbage bag into a container, and it opened, and there was part of Samuel.
He's just overcome by the smell and the just gruesomeness of it all.
Carmen's dug herself a deep hole.
She reaches in and starts grabbing the body parts.
And tossing them into the garbage bin, like they were paper plates.
A desperate murderer with nowhere to turn.
Carmen starts following him, begging him to help her, and she's got the garbage bin with her.
I think Carmen must have been out of her mind at that point.
Police are hot on her trail.
Ma'am, hold
It's
it.
not long before they catch her red-handed.
What's in the trash can?
Nothing. It's just trash.
The stink of death was following her everywhere.
Carmen Montenegro is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 26 years to life in prison.
The audacity and gruesomeness of this crime is off the charts.
Samuel waited 60 years for the right woman. Carmen turns out to be his biggest mistake.
She's a hustler. She hustles men for money.
Carmen Montenegro went from being a con woman to a thief to a murderer to a ghoul.
She likes to have a man who's bad.
Very volatile relationship, but a very strong connection.
When one isn't enough,
both of them got sucked into it.
no one wins this deadly game.
She didn't know what she wanted.
Adelaide, Australia, 2003.
Here's to a man-free zone. Are you sure?
40-year-old Julie Dunn
I'm over them.
is trying to kick a bad habit.
I'm serious.
Men.
Serious.
She went from one bad relationship to another.
Isn't that your son?
But Julie just can't help herself.
Oh, yeah.
Who's he with? Don't know, but he's cute.
Oh, Julie, you are hopeless.
Julie wants it all, and she wants a man with her all the time. Any man.
This night, her son's neighbor catches her eye.
Hey, Mum, have you met Graham?
No. Hey, Julie.
Graham. Nice to meet you.
39-year-old Graham Wilkes is the kind of steady guy she needs.
I think things will get better, though.
Friendship turns to romance. And Julie's hooked again.
Graham was a bit of a family man. He had his daughter every second weekend. May well have been the most stable relationship she had.
Graham's family welcomes her to their inner circle.
Do you need any help? You can take. Thank you. Almost.
And Graham sounded really nice. Mum and Dad were fantastic people.
She seems a lovely lady.
He had a very close relationship with both of his parents,
Eat up, everyone.
who were very sound, reliable people.
But there is something about Julie's past that Graham and his family don't know. Her ex, Greg Havey, is still in love with her.
Greg didn't really accept the breakup of his relationship with Julie. And he made something of a nuisance of himself.
What are you doing with my woman?
She's not your woman, mate. Oh.
Greg Havey ends up getting remanded in custody for an assault against Graham.
Here you go.
Thanks, nurse.
Mate, come on, tough guy. This will help. I'm sorry he did this.
Hey, it's not your fault.
While Julie appears the perfect nurse, she has another secret. She's still in contact with her ex.
Hello?
Hello, will you accept a reverse charges call from Greg Havey?
Yes, I will.
Julie was clearly torn between these two men. Perhaps the sensible side of her wanted to be with Graham and the other side wanted to be with Greg.
How's my girl?
I'm missing you like crazy. I want to hold you.
Yeah, soon. You waiting for me?
Yes.
She's living with Graham, but she still lusts after her ex, Greg.
She sent Greg letters whilst he was in jail, expressing her ongoing love for him.
I always had a bit of a sense that she kind of enjoyed being the centre of attention between these two men.
Graham, is that you?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Julie Dunn had a boyfriend problem.
Are you hungry?
Yeah, sure.
She was living with one, but in love with one in prison.
But her perfect love triangle is getting complicated. After 3 months behind bars, Greg Havey is due to be released.
Hey, how's my girl?
Don't. I'm in the mood.
When Julie found out Greg was going to be released soon, she had a little bit of a problem.
What's the matter with you?
Just leave me alone, okay?
I don't know what you want anymore.
But instead of saying to Graham, I gotta go. She looks at Graham and thinks, you've gotta go.
In Adelaide, Australia, Julie Dunn has one boyfriend too many and doesn't want them to find out about each other. On December 3rd, 2003, she prepares her last meal for Graham Wilkes.
She placed sleeping tablets in his curried egg sandwiches for lunch.
She wanted him unconscious. So she crushed 7 or 8 sedatives and put them in his food.
Wasn't expecting this.
Peace offering.
She didn't want to face him. She didn't want to struggle. She didn't want to fight.
The best estimate is that it was about 7 tablets that were administered to Graham. That would have caused him to have been significantly sedated.
Hey, come on. You're tired.
That's rendered him virtually unable to defend himself.
Up.
He sustained a minimum of 3 serious blows to the head, causing significant brain injury and a fracture to the skull. He made no attempt to try and protect his head from those blows.
It was senseless. It was totally senseless. It wasn't needed.
Julie thinks he's dying and calls emergency.
Julie calls and she tells them that her partner's been assaulted.
Please, I need an ambulance. My boyfriend, he's really hurt.
By the time the paramedics arrive, Graham is in a very serious condition. He was unresponsive, he was unconscious. The version that she initially told people was that she'd come home and found Graham in this condition.
What can you tell us?
Julie shocks the police when she names a suspect.
I didn't want to tell you the truth. It was my son. My son did this.
The man who introduced her to Graham. Her own son.
When Julie pointed the finger at her son, he was more than happy to tell the police exactly what happened.
He said that at some point she came over and talked about giving Graham a curried egg sandwich.
And Julie asks him to help cover up her crime.
She spoke about providing a false alibi to say that Julie had been at the shops. Julie wasn't a good liar. Her stories would come unstuck very quickly, and that's why the police kept going back to her and back to her.
While the investigation continues, Graham is in the hospital, in a coma.
Julie cared so little about Graham, she didn't even visit him while he was there. She couldn't even fake it.
9 days after the attack, Julie's life is looking up. Her true love is free.
Greg, besotted by her, removed his home detention bracelet and returned to their house as though nothing had happened.
But something else happens that day. Graham Wilkes dies.
Julie Dunn?
Ironically, Greg was released from jail on the 12th of December, the same day that Graham died.
You're under arrest for suspicion of murder.
Now she's a murder suspect.
Julie lacked sophistication, even lacked cunning to pull something like this off. Criminal mastermind, she's not.
In 2007, Julie Dunn is found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 18 years.
I think Julie Dunn is a very manipulative woman who will say whatever she needs to in any situation.
In this love triangle, there are no winners.
This trial was all about the complexity of human relationships.
The woman who fed her lover sedatives is serving her time in the prison kitchen.
Given Julie's lack of intelligence, she's the last person in the world who ever should have tried to get away with murder.
These deadly women had big choices to make. Katrina Bridges stole her baby's father. Carmen Montenegro dumped her fiancé. And Julie Dunn chose evil over good. They all made sure love leaves town.